Am I the asshole for making my brother leave after he brought his kids to my child-free wedding? My wife and I got married days ago. We decided the wedding will be child-free. We thought this was the best option considering several factors from budget to keeping the order, etc. Everyone got an invitation, but my biggest concern was how my brother Ramsey, 36, was going to react. Ramsey married young and has 4 kids that he takes everywhere he and his wife go. They're always there at every family event. The kids are grade A, hyperactive to say the least. I gave Ramsey the invitation in person and he read it loud in a sarcastic tone, then said, "Child free, huh?" I nodded and he got somewhat mad, saying, "Are you serious? But my children never have been excluded from any event, big or small, let alone their own uncle's wedding." I said, "I'm sorry, but it's already been decided and everyone had to follow the rules, not just him." He stared off for a minute, then to my surprise, he said, "I totally get it, man. No children means no children. No worries." I was glad he didn't start an argument over it and seemed to accept the rule. The day of the wedding came and Ramsey and his wife didn't show up until shortly before the ceremony began. My best man notified me that Ramsey had arrived and had all his kids with him. I was legit mad and I went to meet him at the entrance and saw he brought all his kids against me and my wife's wishes. I greeted the kids and asked my sister-in-law to take them back to the car. He loudly asked what the fuck was wrong with me. I asked why he brought his kids and who said it was okay. He said no one, but he was planning on bringing the kids all along and figured that by initially agreeing to my rule, then showing up with the kids anyway, would get me to agree on letting them stay. I stated this was no event for kids for many reasons and that everyone respected the rule except him. He complained about me disrespecting him and his kids since, again, he never attends any event without them. In his words, "Wherever I go, my kids follow, period." I told him he needed to leave then. Not only did he call me a lunatic, but a terrible brother and terrible uncle. He also called me a simp for agreeing to my wife's quote-unquote stupid rule, saying that if it was him and his wife even hinted he couldn't have the family's kids at their wedding, he would have dropped her. Right there, right then. It was humiliating and loud enough for the guests to notice. My in-laws did too. I told him to leave, and that's when my mom and aunt tried to convince me to let it go and let them stay, but I refused and had him leave after a massive argument between us. To say that I felt absolutely shitty is an understatement. Everyone gave me grief ever since that incident and are siding with Ramsey, saying I wronged him and acted cold towards him and his kids when they showed up to celebrate me and my wife. My dad is especially pissed at me for potentially permanently fucking up my relationship with Ramsey, his wife, and kids by kicking them out of my wedding. He quoted, "Ramsey won't ever forget this day." So, am I the asshole for making my brother leave after he brought his kids to my child-free wedding? Am I the asshole for telling my son that I don't care that he's gay? I, 32 female, have 3 kids, who, for the sake of this, I'll call Jack, male 15, Paige, female 14, and Chloe, 2. I have them with my ex-husband, and we remained on good terms. A few weeks ago, I was hosting a family dinner. My little sister and older brother and their kids and I spent all day cooking a magnificent meal, asking my kids to entertain themselves so I could have full attention to making sure nothing went wrong as I was cooking. So, as I'm cooking, Jack comes in and tells me he has something to say, which I ask very kindly if he could wait until a bit later as I don't need the food burning. But he was adamant to talk to me now, so I allowed him to while I was making the food. He tells me he's gay, and me being stressed, I told him it's not a big deal and that I don't really care. Growing up in a very backhanded, racist, and anti-LGBTQ family and not following those beliefs, I raised kids to know that everyone is an equal no matter what. And so if needed, I didn't want them to come out to me unless they were trans so that I could support them in transitioning. He looks at me completely shocked and starts going off at me, saying that I should be making a big deal out of this because it took a lot of courage for him to come out to me, which I reminded him that he doesn't need to come out and that I love him no matter what. He goes batshit crazy and storms upstairs to pack a bag and head to his dad's, in which he tells him what happened, and I get a call from my ex saying he agrees with me and that he'll talk to Jack. Came over and I confide in them about what happened, as my sister also agrees with me. However, my brother does not. He says that coming out is a big deal, and I should have told him that I'm proud that he did come out, but I honestly believe that being a part of the LGBTQ community isn't a big deal. It's just your preference in who you date. So, am I the asshole for telling my son that I don't care that he's gay? Am I the asshole for telling my brother he got exactly what he deserved when he pushed his girlfriend away for being a gold digger? My brother is a very hardworking man, and at 27, he is now very wealthy and doing very well for himself. He's been with this girl for 6 months, and throughout the time, we have gotten close, but we both like hair, makeup, and shopping. I never knew there was anything wrong with their relationship, except when she texted me last week saying she would love to hang out but thinks it'll be inappropriate because her and my brother broke up. I asked her why, and she said she was sick and tired of auditioning to prove she was with him for the right reasons. She went on to say that my brother is paranoid she's after his money, so he would test her, like 1, leaving out his bank statements on their bed and getting upset when she picked it up. 2, going out to eat at high-end restaurants he requested and leaving his wallet at home on purpose to make her pay the bill and prove she's not going out with him for money. 3, never buying her gifts and questioning her when she asks why he doesn't. I was shocked, so I had to hear my brother's perspective. We spoke, and he told me everything she said was true and that there's nothing wrong with making sure his girlfriend is with him for the right reasons. He said he left his bank statements on the bed and was peeking through the door to see if she would be curious, and when he saw her pick up the papers, he knew in his gut she was using him for his money. So he set up the restaurant idea to see if she would get upset at paying a $500 bill, which she was. He confronted her and said he thinks she's with him for his money, so she said, "Let me do us both a favor," and dumped him and blocked him. He's upset about the gold-digging bitch, and when I laughed, he called me an asshole. He said I would never understand what it's like being a rich man and being used, and I get that concern, but I told him if he thinks any women will be okay with his tests and auditions, he's delusional as hell. If he doesn't want to be used for his money, he should start dating people as wealthy as him or leave lower income people alone if he's not going to be genuine in his relationships unless they pass his test. So, am I the asshole for telling my brother he got exactly what he deserved?